Welcome to Spirit Guide Daily. Hey guys, when we're in a collective, we all share energy, and these are timeless readings that will reach you when they are meant to. They will cross your path when they have a message for you. So this is, I believe, the Enchanted Forest Tarot. I genuinely don't remember. The box is stored somewhere. And this is the Forest Fae Inspiration cards. Hey guys, before I get started, please don't forget to subscribe because it helps my channel. We have the Shaman's Dream Oracle after that as well. We're going to get 3 tarot cards. Please remember these serve as intermediate tarot card lessons as I do explain how to connect the cards. You do need a working knowledge. This is not a beginner lesson. Here we go. Let's get going. Did I already say please subscribe? Please hit that thumbs up button. If I didn't, please do those things. Let's get going here. 1 and 2 and 3. I just got back from grounding in the forest where I cast a circle and was invoking some things. So I'm a little bit, my energy is really, really big, and my focus is also really, really big right now. Let's go with the Forest Lord. That is the Emperor's card in this particular deck. The Emperor is the card of wise choices and personal power. It can also be the card for the astrological sign Aries, but it is the Wisdom of Solomon card. And Solomon, of course, made wise choices. There is the famous story of, 2 women claiming 1 baby, and Solomon, in all of his wisdom, said, "We'll cut it down the middle and give each half." And of course, one of the women objected, and Solomon understood that that was the real mother. And so she got the baby. But his initial thing was, well, let's destroy it, knowing that a mother's love would never allow that. Whereas the other woman was like, sure, I'll take half the baby. Now, I don't remember why this woman was all like, let me get that baby, and then was fine with half a baby. That's a disturbing tale, as most of the biblical tales are. But that is one of the stories that is associated with the Aries card. Make discerning choices, and remember that getting to a destination can take a really winding path. When Solomon did that, that was not being upfront and above board. It was luring out the truth. Sometimes our guides will give us information to guide us towards a better path. And will it be false? No, it will be needed. Please understand that. If in the past you have been encouraged to believe things that did not come to be, examine where you are emotionally and in terms of your health right now. If your path has been improving and you have been getting better and you have been releasing all burdens from the past, then the only way they could lure you out of darkness was to promise you the only light that you would go towards. So it does happen sometimes, and they are never lying. Everything is always in service of our highest good, but they can see the end result that they're trying to achieve. And sometimes we can't because we are too lost within our own personal darkness. That comes out with the 8 of Swords in reverse challenges in this deck. Yes, 8 of Swords in reverse. Listen, that's about freedom. That's about walking forward. That's about speaking to yourself appropriately. In the upright, it is not the best card because it is about not having a path forward. Yeah, no, I like this. We've got the 5 of Spells in reverse, which is the 5 of Wands in reverse, which is about things settling down, achieving peace, no longer struggling so much. It's a card of surrender. Whenever you are having doubt, please remember that there is something trying to guide you. And if you don't understand what it's doing all the time, please understand that part of trust is believing that it does. Whether you refer to it as God, whether you refer to it as the divine, whether you refer to it as spirit, whether you refer to it as source, there is a collective consciousness with your good in mind. And sometimes the path it has to lead us down is strange, but it's always trying to lead us towards the better path for us. And, there are road stops along the way and detours. And that's what those, maybe false flags are about sometimes. It's usually about relationships. Usually people are kind of, I'm not going to say they're encouraged forward because they think they're going towards a relationship. And what the guides are trying to do is help them heal from codependency so that they can have confidence in their own true power. We have Beloved, radical acceptance. That's what we're talking about here. Believe that you are loved by the universe, even if you don't have everything you want, even if you have almost nothing that you want, even if you can't see the path forward. This life is not all that matters. And I'm not talking about heaven and hell. Those are constructs within a religious doctrine. I'm talking about dark and light. It is always trying to lead you towards a lighter and brighter and more connected energy so that you can connect with that which is beyond here and give this life more meaning. There is more meaning in this life if we are willing to reach for it. And it won't always be about getting what we want in the 3D, but it can be about feeling connected to an eternal love, to the type of love that exceeds anything that a human being with all of their flaws and all of their own needs could never quite meet. We have Forest Sister, the moon shines brightest after the storm. Well, the storm is almost over. The new moon phase is just finished as I'm filming this. I do film these in batches. And then I upload them in a way that like I never know which one's coming up next when I'm processing it. It's complicated, but I'm always trying to make sure that I'm not trying to guide the narrative too much. I'm letting the guides do that. Listen, it's hard for you, but please try to choose trust and surrender and belief and love in all things, not just in a love of the outcomes that you want. The outcomes that you want are still coming to you. They genuinely are. It's just that, and please accept this because it happens to be true about pretty much everyone. If you got what you wanted before you had completed your work, you would not be as dedicated to doing your work because you would be fulfilling your earthly needs a lot more. And it doesn't mean that it's going to take forever. In fact, I think the time of waiting is pretty much done. But you're being reminded that when you feel sad, when you feel discouraged, when you feel left out, when you feel afflicted, to remember that something is trying to guide you towards a better spiritual connection, which will sustain you through all manner of troubles and trials brought by usually the choices of other people in our world. So make solid choices around surrendering your doubt so that you can be in better flow. And why? Because it makes everything that crosses our path easier when we believe that it is brought to us for a reason, even if there is a struggle. Now, we've got that old saying, everything happens for a reason, and they can be saying it to people in the absolute worst circumstances. It doesn't mean everything is happening in your life determined by something else for a reason, but rather that everything that happens can teach you a lesson if you will look for it. Not that something is beating you to death with a lesson stick, but rather that if you lean in on examining how am I meeting my challenges, how am I ever evolving, ever growing, and getting stronger and stronger, how can I figure out the ways to spot the ways the divine interacts with my life. And sometimes we will have devastating loss, and sometimes we will have devastating pain. Those are the prices that we pay to have a full range of emotion and the ability to feel and to have our own free will determine so much of our life. And that is really the truth of the matter. We determine our path. But if we are willing to surrender to the idea that something will try and guide us to the best outcomes that our circumstances can yield for us, which is not always going to be like the Taj Mahal and personal servants. Sometimes it's going to be shelter and food while others have little. Sometimes it will be leaving a war-torn land just before war breaks out. You will get the best possible outcomes from the circumstances that are largely created by the people around us. It's a hard one to balance with because there is both a divine power, but there is also the fact that we are responsible for the world that has been built around us. If you don't like the world around us, figure out what you would like to participate in changing, and you will be in a greater flow with the divine and guided in a greater and more direct fashion by the divine, by source, by spirit, by God, whatever you wish to refer to, the highest aspect of yourself being connected to. That is what you're trying to do. And why? Because it will give you a feeling of resonant joy, acceptance, and love within this lifetime, which is what people are actually seeking when they're trying to be happier. And they think it comes from stuff and relationships, and it doesn't exclusively. It can. But it mostly comes from a feeling of being connected to power that is great and loving and good. That was the very complex Spirit Guide Daily for today. I hope you enjoyed it. If you want to book me for a private reading, there's a link to my website in the description box down below. You are loved. And if your path has not been very easy, it is because within you lies a warrior. Waken its spirit, because there is a fight to bring about better things going forward. Amen.